Welcome to the series debut of the new show, Home Lalate. I'm here, you're here, and Mitch McConnell's not going home. But welcome to our new show, our midday easy breezy show that gets you updated on your second stimulus check and takes you home. This show replaces Holidays Lalate, which stayed in this time slot throughout the holidays. Before that, it was 28, and then before that was 14. But in Holidays Lalate, I keep the spirit easy breezy, bringing you home, keeping it beachy, keeping it carefree, and telling you how to keep it all lighthearted, easy, cost-free around the home and at the beach. Thank you for joining me on Holidays Lalate's new replacement, Home Lalate. And in this special, I'll be going over, are sunglasses ever dated? Are sunglasses ever irrelevant? Or are sunglasses always timely despite how old or new the style is? I'll be getting to that later in this recording, a little bit about the beach and about shades, how to keep it shady. But I want to cut to the shadiness of Congress today. As several people who want to go home didn't get to go home, and they are actually still on the Senate floor. Those people are your delicious list of Bernie and Chuck and Mitch. Boy, what a day it has been. In this video, I'm going to go over your $2,000 stimulus check battle, your $600 stimulus check arrival, your multiple stimulus check anticipation for January, and the big details on the stimulus that you're going to start getting next week. A lot more stimulus and a lot more cows trying to cut in front of you. Move over the way. I'm glad you're here. And boy, we are simulcast on Instagram. Thank you for joining me on a big day, midday. Here we are. The breaking developments from the Senate today is that the first step to get the defense bill, which was a predecessor to the battle over your $2,000 stimulus check, progressed. So the efforts of the Democrats and the independents to block the first step to get a defense bill voted upon, this is an override to a veto, was not successful. So it's progressing, and the vote on that could come shortly. The question is whether that $2,000 stimulus check remains a possibility. Earlier today and last night, I reported that I think the opportunity for the $2,000 stimulus check may soon fade quickly in the next 48 hours. Let me answer a couple of questions that I get about the $2,000 stimulus check. Can it be done again as a new bill? Yes. Can it be rewritten as a new Senate is sworn in on Sunday? Yes. Can it start again in the House and send over to the Senate? Yes. So why is there a real issue to get this one done in the next few days? It was just sort of a timing and a momentum issue. So when could they do a new Cash Act version and fix the language? They could do it in just a few days when the House reconvenes. This is after the House new members are sworn in on Sunday and they reconvene in a few days. And how quickly could it be back at the Senate? In one day. They could reconvene, make the modifications, and send it back over to the Senate. And then what would happen? Well, then the Senate would take it for a vote. What would the vote look like? Well, the vote could happen the day after the Georgia Senate races are concluded. Now, ironically, January 5th is the date for those two Georgia Senate races. The day in which the new Congress is sworn in is this Sunday. So the impact of a new Senate in the United States government could be impacted as early as Tuesday or Wednesday next week. So even if there is a difficulty blocking Cash Act 2020, there could be a new Cash Act 2021 very quickly, very soon, in a matter of a couple days. Hence, we're keeping it easy breezy, nothing to sweat over. This Cash Act may be dying quickly, but the new Cash Act could be done right away. And again, this Cash Act is not the multiple stimulus checks of Biden. That's something else. So what is the problems with the Cash Act? The problem, as I manifested in the video overnight and the video this morning, is the Cash Act has a drafting problem. The Cash Act says, hey, we're going to pay stimulus checks of $9,000 to people who made $300,000 last year. It's an error. It can't go. It will never see light of day under any sort of reasonable environment. Now, how quickly can they get this done currently? They really can't. They can't amend the Cash Act, because if they amend the Cash Act, it would have to go back to the House. and the House is not currently in session. And so the big question then is, when would the bill get finished at all in the current session? I don't see the path. At the moment, I don't see the path. I've been wrong before, but I don't see the path to getting the Cash Act done in the next few days. Because one, the bill is badly written. Two, it needs to be fixed. Three, I don't think any Republican with a brain cell is going to vote in favor of this when they realize there's a seven, nine, $10,000 stimulus check going to people who made over $250,000 last year. And until they can figure out how to fix it, they can't get it done. So is Bernie blowing hot air? Is Josh Hawley blowing hot air? Are their efforts going to sort of implode? I think yes. I think yes. I think the numbers don't lie. And you know me, you know yourself. We don't play games with numbers here. The numbers don't lie. This is the problem. Sanders yesterday said virtually nothing in the Cash Act goes to the very rich. The overwhelming majority of those funds go to the middle class, the working families, and the low-income families. Not true. Not true. A nonpartisan congressional budget report done by the Committee for Responsible Federal Budgeting determined on the 30th, December 30th, that a family that made $350,000 with some children would get a $4,000 stimulus check. Can you imagine making a third of $1,000,000 last year? You get a $4,000 stimulus check. $300,000, you get a $6,500 stimulus check. And $250,000, you'll get a $9,000 stimulus check. I just think it's insane. I think it's really insane. The problem was that they didn't do the phase out right. The phase out is that under the current second stimulus bill, no one over $174,000 who doesn't have a child gets a stimulus check. And then if you did have a child, no one over $210,000 would get a stimulus check. The phase out in Nancy Pelosi's Cash Act didn't work. A childless couple at $230,000 still gets an enormous stimulus check. And then families that have kids would still get an enormous stimulus check if they made $250,000. So they made an error. It was a rush job. They didn't check their work and they sent it over. And so I don't think it's going to work. Cash Act is a farce, says Ursula. It is a farce. It was not done right. It's not done right. Bernie Sanders is going to quickly realize it's not the right bill to support. He was given a bad bill by the House. This was not supposed to be the bill. And earlier on Mornings, Lalate asked viewer, did you think that Nancy did this on purpose? Do you think this was an error, or did she know that this was the error? Did she know of the error? Let me ask the question again now on our new midday show, Home Lalate. I'm still getting used to the name. Do you think Nancy knew or didn't know? Knew, yes, or no, didn't know that the bill was going to pay rich people a big stimulus check? Yes, 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 no. There's one no. 3 yeses, then 1 no, and then yes, 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 absolutely yes. So that's about 99% of the people, about 1,000 people in the room currently at the 8-minute mark. If you're just joining me, I'll have a big update at the 15-minute mark. Someone in the Instagram room said, "Air my butt." So they're like, yeah, sure, it was an error. No, it was hell no. It was hell no. It was no error. She absolutely knew. Needless to say, I think Nancy Pelosi's annual salary is less than $350,000, so she was going to get a stimulus check. Congratulations, Nancy. You try to get yourself a stimulus check. The report doesn't say that, but you and I know that she would have gotten a stimulus check. Crazy. So there you go. As we come up on the 10-minute mark, what I'm going to cut over at the 10-minute mark is your second stimulus check and your second stimulus items. At the 15-minute mark, I'm going to be going over to third stimulus because I want you to get ready for that. And then at the 20-minute mark, I'll be answering some of your questions. Now at the 10-minute mark, what I want to cut to is your second stimulus check. A lot of people surprisingly got alerts today that the stimulus check arrived today on a holiday, which is quite surprising. It just shows you. One of the messages I've been trying to remind viewers is the stimulus check arrival has nothing to do with your last name, has nothing to do with the name of the state you're in, or alphabeticalness of the state, or alphabeticalness of the city. There's nothing alphabetical about the receipt of the stimulus check. It has to do with your bank. Some banks are fast, some banks are slow. And there's no way to rush up a bank or make a bank faster than the bank actually is. I start to see some great comments. I got it today, I got it yesterday, I got it this morning. If you're signed up for electronic receipt, I got my deposit today. Wow. So Brittany just said, I got it today, which again defies normal logic. You would normally not see a deposit on a banking holiday. Today's a banking holiday, but people got my stimulus in my account this morning. So it shows you things are just a little hard to predict. But give it some time. $600 individuals, $1,200 married couple, $600 for child, no stimulus check for adult dependents, and not taken out for debt collections, not taken out for child support, and not taken out for anything else. The great news, I'm really excited for you. I'm just really, really encouraged. And if there's any volunteers in the room, I want you to hear this message. Earlier today and last night, I said, listen, I don't like the drop off in people looking for state stimulus, which I call purple, free rent, free utilities, free food from the nonprofits. There was too much of a drop off. People go from no less than 50 requests per volunteer a day to less than one. It made me very nervous because it suggested that people were happy with $600 and that they were going to think they were fine financially the first week of January. I said, no, please go get rent. Please go get utilities. Please go get food. If you qualify, reach out to the volunteers. And I saw the surge come back a little bit this morning. So I'm really happy. That's news.lalate.com/community. News.lalate.com/community. Can we have a party when Mitch loses his seat? We can. We can. Yeah, someone, one of the volunteers just sent a message I see on the screen as well. I want you to reach out to the volunteers. I don't want a drop off. That first and second week of January will be financially tight for a lot of people because a delay in unemployment benefits being paid. More about that in a second. All right, next, I want you to get ready now at the 12-minute mark. I want to get you ready for the big moolah that's coming next week. I want you to start taking mental notes or getting a pen and paper out and writing down what you need to get ready to get. If you are on SSI, SSDI, Social Security and Railroad benefits, or anything like that, veterans or retired or something like that, you need to get ready for under this. This is all state second stimulus stuff. You need to get ready for rent, free utilities, free internet, and free child support. The child care. Oh my God, I keep on saying child support, child care. Thank you, Ben, for the super chat. That's what I want you to get ready for. My Schedule C people, my Uber, Lyft drivers, Airbnb, anyone sole practitioner, anyone that has any side hustle. I want you to get ready for EIDL for inner city, PPP, PUA, FPUC, and UI. And I also want you to get ready for everything I just said right before that as well. My farmers and ranchers, I want you to get ready for your farmers and ranchers stimulus check. That's coming next week as well. I think, and then my renters, I want you to make sure you've downloaded that CDC eviction moratorium order. If you've not used it before, get it ready. My mortgage owners that are in a mortgage bind, I want you to reach out to the mortgage assistance I mentioned on Purple. If you don't see it or hear it, reach out to the volunteers. There is no mortgage protection from you from the federal government, but there is some from states until we get to late January. Next, so there is there's a lot that's just in the next 7 days, next 5 days. Thank you, Cindy, for the nice comment. I see that. And thank you, Skinny. I appreciate your comment. When does Biden's pump up come? Yeah, I'm going to get to Biden third stimulus at the 20-minute mark of this video. And so Candy has a great comment. When do I get this? None of these things you get yet. Which volunteers should I message? You can reach any of the volunteers. They're separated from Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. So whatever platform you like, you can reach out to them. Thank you, Linda. So what I want you to know is none of these platforms are open. The free rent, the free utilities, the EIDL grant, they're not open, but they're going to open very, very, very quickly. So I want you to just take a mental note. LA told me to get ready to get this. He told me, get ready to get this. I want to be first in. How do I get the broadband? Says Linda. Not open, but I want you to be ready to get it because these things are first come, first serve. So we're going to stay like hawks, stay like hawks, ready to pounce as soon as these things open because it's first come, first serve. Believe me, I've been doing this since April. I remember how things opened with SBA, and then in 4 days, they were gone. These things just open and then they're gone. The second stimulus, one thing I've not made clear for a while, is the second stimulus is not an enormous amount of money. It's not an enormous amount of money. So a lot of these things could open and then be gone in about a week, 2 weeks. So this is like, this hawk. I want you to, I want you to just come in and like take that moolah like a hawk. I want you to just come in like, like the vultures and just grab this moolah before anyone else because this is going to be very, very quick. Get that hawk attack ready. Get those wings flocking. Just come in and get that moolah right away. There you go. Now, at the 15-minute mark, let me give you a big update on where we are across the board. Thank you for joining me on Home LA8, our new midday show replacing Holidays LA. I'm really glad you joined me. If you've not subscribed to this channel, please do. Go to the first channel, subscribe. 360,000 subscribers, 80 million views in 8 months, never been seen before. This is a 24-hour news channel if you're new to LA8, programming from 1 a.m. to 1 a.m. the next day, program starting around the clock. And this is our new midday show about stimulus and then a little bit about your home and keeping it easy breezy at the 15-minute mark. Here's your update. The push for a $2,000 stimulus check is slowly falling apart very, very quickly. It's falling apart for a series of reasons. One, the bill that was written for the $2,000 stimulus check, the Cash Act, is flawed. It's fatally flawed. An independent report confirms that people who made $350,000 would get $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $9,000 stimulus checks because of a drafting error by Nancy Pelosi. There's no way to amend the bill because the House is not in session. The new Congress is sworn in this Sunday, and that ultimately what's going to happen is that this bill will probably have to fail and then be rewritten in the new House and then resent over to the Senate. This bill will not manifest itself. Thank you, Sue, for the super chat. This bill will never see the light of day by all accounts because of this fatal error. And that as soon as Republican and Democrats understand this fatal error, as they're starting to see it, no one's going to support it. No one wants to give a $9,000 stimulus check to rich people. It's a mistake. And so ultimately, there's no way to fix it. As a result, what you will see is a push to redo this, I presume, in the next 7 days. So don't give up hope. It's just dead for now. It is not functionally dead yet. I'm just giving you its obituary before it dies, because this is as written. At least Cash Act 2020. Cash Act 2021 can be redone next week. As someone just asked on the screen, can we impeach Nancy and Mitch? There's actually a move by AOC to get a new leadership among the Democrats. This was a very bad error, and this was a very bad blunder. The error also included going too big and too bold on something that was supposed to be an emergency and rush. And by an emergency and rush, they didn't get it done right. The other big news across the board is your $600 stimulus check is actually landing in some people's bank accounts today. Even today is a holiday. People are actually seeing it post today, which again defies the logic of how banking rules operate. But congratulations to some viewers who got a stimulus check in their bank account on New Year's Day, which is just insane. Paper checks will arrive as early as this weekend, and also next week. You'll also see your $600 appear by next week as well. And now you're up to date. Let's continue on your second stimulus. So there's so much in the second stimulus you see, from whether you're a single parent, whether you're a small business owner, where you're on SSI. I want you to realize there's so much for you. The next thing that's going to really heat up is third stimulus. Third stimulus is Biden's stimulus. That's our new hit show on Afternoons LA. Third stimulus check and third stimulus package refers to Biden's stimulus. How soon could you see it? You could literally see it as early as next week by a bill, but you don't want to do it too early because it has to start at the Senate, the House, go to the Senate, and then land on Biden's table on January 21st, approximately. But you could start seeing the deal provisions. What is in third stimulus and third stimulus package. If you have questions about third stimulus and third stimulus package, start dropping it on the screen because I'm going to go through that right now. First, the SSI and SSDI, which I get asked about routinely. That is a new, thank you, Grandma Ducky. That is $2,400 SSI and SSDI, Social Security and Railroad benefits from January to December. The January payment would not land until February, so you make it a double hit on February. $200 a month on top of your existing benefits. 1 year. You don't have to do anything, automatic. Then a new step up that would raise your benefits lifetime up to 20%. And a new benchmark that would tie your benefits to something other than COLA. Also really great news. Then multiple stimulus checks. Multiple stimulus checks. Is there MSC under Biden's plan? Yes, multiple stimulus checks is under his Biden plan, as someone just asked me. Yes. Biden is not telling us the amount or how often. It now looks like it would likely be $2,000. Ironically, the Cash Act may be irrelevant in just a few weeks because Biden could just cover the Cash Act in the MSC bill. Will third stimulus still happen? Absolutely, it's going to still happen. Next, you're going to see FPUC retroactive. Do you get the $2,400? Yes, you get $200 a month every month from January to December. The January one would get delayed and so would land in February. The FPUC retroactive. Does Congress have to approve all this? Yes, Congress would have to approve everything I'm saying in this video so far. The last three things they won't. I'll tell you which ones they aren't. But yes, Congress would have to, this is for Larry, Congress would have to approve everything in this bill, including the FPUC retro. The FPUC retro is one of the biggest items that I'm talking about in this video because FPUC retro is back to July, $600 a week. It's been 30 weeks. 30 weeks at $600 is a lot of money. It's almost $12,000 per person. Hazard pay, also a big number. It's $10,000 a person for essential workers. EIDL grant, it's going to happen. $10,000 per person. Lifeline grant, a lot of money. Could be about $5,000, $10,000. The Lifeline grant is $50,000. The CDC grant is about $10,000. So all these things are in second, third stimulus and third stimulus package. If you got EIDL, can you reapply? No, you have to do a reconsideration. Always do a reconsideration if you got a denial of EIDL. And there you are. Holy cow, what is the CDC grant? We don't know much about it, Candy, but it is underwritten by CDC. It's for frontline workers. It sounds duplicative it sounds like the hazard pay. It sounds duplicative, and the eligibility and the numbers are not detailed. What is the Lifeline grant? The Lifeline grant is this insanely large grant that says, based upon your cost of goods sold, they will pay up to $50,000. Now, the $50,000 really kicks in if you have a very, very big business with very big deductions. So if your business had $50,000 cost of goods sold in 2019, you could get a $50,000 grant. It's enormous. If you received a denial of EIDL, you need to resubmit a reconsideration. Absolutely. Now at the 23-minute mark, any other questions about third stimulus check and third stimulus package? Will the Calcito get a check? The Calcito will get a check. My birthday. So are we getting FPUC retro from July? That is what third stimulus package proposes. Yes, that's what starts. Explain COLA. Absolutely. Let me explain COLA for you. At the end of every year, you get an email, you get a letter from Social Security or whoever, or SSI, SSDI says, hi, based upon COLA, next year your benefits will go up $10. That's basically what the letter says. COLA is cost of living adjustment. And every year they look and determine whether they want to raise your benefits next year. COLA, the problem with COLA is COLA doesn't move. This year, eggs and milk went through the roof, and they're not going down. Coffee went up, gas went up, COLA was still flat. So at the end of the year, you got an email, you got a letter that says, hi, your unemployment, your Social Security is about going to go up $1. Wait a second, my milk and eggs went up $3 this year. Why is my check only going up $1? They're going to tie it to something other than COLA. And that's how it goes. What's going on with the $2,000 stimulus check? I've had an update at the top and then the 15-minute mark, but I'll have another update at the 30-minute mark. Can I get FPUC or EIDL if I have an LLC? Yes, absolutely. That's a great question. So when you're applying for an EIDL, it will ask you whether you are independent, solo practitioner, or something like that. That is for you, your name, like John. That's John and John's social security number. If you are if you are a business 500 employees or less, then that's your LLC. The LLC applies with the LLC's EIN, the LLC's bank account, the EIC's business address. Elliot, do you have to file taxes this year for the stimulus? No, stimulus is not taxable. What about student loan forgiveness? Oh, Diane, thank you for reminding me. So that I wanted to get to that. So the big problem with second stimulus, which the president signed into law last Sunday, is it omits three things. One, well, it omits a couple things, but the big one omits is anything about student loan and mortgage forbearance. I've been reporting for a while that I believe on day one of the Biden administration, you're going to see an executive order. The executive order will have three things in it. One, it will have, sorry, I locked the screen. I almost killed the screen. It'll have three things in the executive order. One, mortgage forbearance, meaning you cannot be foreclosed upon. Second, eviction moratorium, but without CDC, which is a crazy eviction moratorium, just a basic eviction moratorium. And third, a student loan debt forgiveness. Do we pay taxes on unemployment? Absolutely, Ricky. Yes. Do we pay taxes on EDT? Yes, you do. Now, when you go to get your unemployment every week, it asks you when you certify for benefits, do you want to have unemployment? Do you want to have taxes taken out or not taken out? If you say no, not taken out, the next year, well, this year now, when you come to do your taxes, you have to pay taxes on it. If you said, I want to take taxes out every week when you get paid for your unemployment, then you don't have to pay taxes again because you already pay taxes on it. Can Mitch block Biden's bills? If the Senate remains GOP, because of those two Georgia races, Mitch can do exactly what Mitch is doing now. Absolutely, yes. Mitch can block a lot of stuff. And so that's where you go. Remember for the Georgia Senate races, because I don't say it all the time, for the Senate to go blue, Democrat, both seats have to be run by the Democrats. Not one, but both seats have to be won. Does the 2000, oh, now the questions are zooming on the screen. LA, will the Senate actually pass retro FPUA? You mean FPUC. There will not be retro PUA or retro UI. Your PUA and your UI has never lapsed, meaning thank God, because that would just cause a lot of confusion. Since the pandemic started, no one's UI or PUA will ever miss a week. It will be delayed, but it won't miss a week. So there's no such thing as retro UI or retro PUA. The only thing we're talking about retro is FPUC, which is the money that goes on top of your PUA and UI. SSI in February, not in January. Yeah, so remember, Biden comes in office on January 20th. I think you probably get your SSI check by the 20th. So I think it's too late for you to get the January $200 bump. You would likely get the two bumps in February. This is based upon Biden's guidance. We're not given a lot of information by Biden. So a lot of this is based upon his statements. Who can fire Mitch? No one can fire Mitch. Mitch is staying as a senator. The only thing that will change his role from majority leader to minority leader is if the Senate becomes Democratic with 2 Senate race wins in Georgia. Are they are doing oh I lost the question. It was there and then it went away. If I didn't file taxes, am I ineligible for second stimulus? Well, that's a really complicated question. If you're on SSI and SSDI, then you would still get a stimulus check if you're not an adult dependent. If you think the IRS does not know where you are, you will not get a stimulus check. That's sort of the obvious issue, the obvious answer for this. The $2,400 SSI. I just answered that question. Mitch needs to retire, someone says. And there you go. Now, wow, 2,000 people in the room. With that, let me cut to some home coverage. So thank you for joining me on the new midday show on Lalate, Home Lalate, replacing holidays, LA. Thank you for joining me and staying with us throughout the holiday season where we delivered you holiday decor. In the spirit of holidays, LA, I'm bringing it now to the home. The beach home, the beach house, everything that is simple, easy, breezy for you. And in today's recording, I start with one of the most simple questions is, when do shades become irrelevant? Are shades no longer relevant after a certain period of time? Is an old school shade sort of passe? Is it no longer an issue? Or if you're up in the club or, just chilling around the back door, are shades no longer an issue? The question is, by all accounts, shades always stay around. Never ever get rid of a shade. A shade still has a style, whether it is today or tomorrow. Whether you got it, at a beer promotion, sitting at a club one night, or whether you got them for $5 at the beach one day, because these are all $2 shades clearly in my hands. Shades are always a lot of fun, and never get rid of shades. And ironically, shades hanging on whether a table or on a wall are simple, great decor to create positivity in a room. There's nothing that's more positive than shade and beachy and lighthearted items. You'll see the change to the LLH set today. Behind me, let me pull to the side. Behind me is a change of the backdrop. Gone, of course, is the garland. Gone, of course, is the Christmas lights. And what you see behind me is a cluster of fruit. Can viewers figure out what types of fruit there is? There's actually 2 fruit in the background. Can viewers figure out what type of fruit they see in the background? What's important to understand is that fruit is a very easy way to bring decor to a home for pennies on the dollar. Ultimately, if you're going to eat something, why not use it for decor? And it's a common message. Someone said lemon. Someone said grapefruit. I talked about the way to use food for decor before. Lemons and grapefruits, lemons and grapefruits, lemons and grapefruits, orange and lemons is orange and grapefruits, lobsters. It's actually orange and grapefruits. The small ones are the oranges and the big ones are the grapefruit. And you see how beautiful the colors are. These grapefruits literally had almost no discoloration on them. Perfect yellow. And you can see their contrast against the LED candles. So keeping decor very easy breezy is very, very simple and cheap, especially when at home. You'll also see something very familiar you may recognize. The original wreath that was shown on this channel when I started Holidays LA. I've always talked about wreaths being year-round. A wreath can have a lot of decor and can be non-holiday, can be non-denominational. Here is just a lighthearted wreath. Clearly, those are not real flowers in the wreath, but it shows how a wreath gives decor in a way that just sort of relaxes you. So keep things easy breezy, whether it's a beach house or it's a thick of snow. You can keep holiday decor consistent and lighthearted. What I always focus on is the coloring. You see, I kept a relatively simple color scheme here. Orange and yellow, although they're almost versions of the yellow. And then the wreath is almost complementary. It's almost in the same beige, light greens, light creamy colors. You see no pops of red. All the red from the holiday, with the exception of the poinsettias, are in the background. So you see everything in the creamy, easy, breezy, peachy. And there you go. Meantime, let me give you one last update at where we are on your second stimulus coming from Washington. The big update as we sit here this afternoon is that your stimulus check, $600, is on your way, but the $2,000 may no longer say hey. The $2,000 stimulus check is now tied to a scandal in which we learn that Nancy Pelosi wrote the bills in a way that you may only get a stimulus check if you're very rich. Why are rich people getting $9,000 stimulus checks? It's a joke. And by all accounts, the Cash Act 2000 of 2000, which looked like a great idea, may be dying a quick death right away. That's not to say the Cash Act 2021 won't be around the corner. It will. But it may likely get merged into the multiple stimulus checks of Joe Biden. The great news is that it put $2,000 on the map as a mainstream number. We've won that war. We now have Americans understanding $2,000 as a mainstream number. All we have to do next is get it from point A to point B. Thank you for joining me for Home LLA, the debut of our new midday show. If you've not subscribed, please do. And also like this video. I'll see you on Afternoons LA with check, purple, third stimulus check, and I'll be back live with Being a Mitch. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, and Happy New Year.